have covered is admiralty coefficient formula. Admiralty coefficient. AC in short form is given by delta raised to power 2 by 3 into V cube divided by P1. And we made use of this by writing it in the form of two set of conditions, delta 1 raised to power 2 by 3 into V1 cube divided by P1 is equal to delta 2 raised to power 2 by 3 into V2 cube divided by P2. So we have seen that if any one of these parameters is unknown, that can be calculated. The next thing which we saw was fuel coefficient. Fuel coefficient was based on the assumption, so never forget the assumption. Assumption is that SFOC is constant. So I will write if SFOC is constant, then power is directly proportional to daily consumption and therefore we can write fuel coefficient is equal to delta raised to power 2 by 3 into V cube divided by daily consumption. Now in this formula, delta is displacement in tons, V is speed in knots, daily consumption is in tons per day. In short, we will be writing, instead of full name as daily consumption, we will write DC1, DC2. DC1 means daily consumption under one set of condition, let us say 30, and if I know the daily consumption in the second set of value, I will write DC2, which may be known or may not be known. So accordingly we will similarly delta 1, delta 2, V1 under the speed in one condition, V2 in the second one, P1, P2, like this only. So from this fuel coefficient formula, we can clearly write, let me erase this first. So we can write here delta 1 raised to power 2 by 3 into V1 cube divided by DC1 is equal to delta 2 raised to power 2 by 3 into V2 cube divided by DC2. So DC1 and DC2 are daily consumptions under two different conditions. Also, let us see what is a voyage consumption. Let first you write down the formula VC1 over VC2. Now VC1 is the voyage consumption number 1, any voyage, and similarly you have another voyage which we are calling as VC2 is equal to delta 1 by delta 2 raised to power 2 by 3 into V1 by V2 square into voyage distance 1 over voyage distance 2. Now VD1 and VD2 we are writing as short form for. Now VC1 is voyage consumption and VD is voyage distance. Voyage distance. Voyage consumption will be in tons. Voyage distance will be in nautical miles.
So velocity 1 upon velocity 2 is whole cube, right?
Yes. Where? First one? Where?
So second row, sir.
VC1, sir.
Vc1 by Vc2 is equal to delta 1 by delta 2 raised to power 2 by 3 into V1 by V2 square, not cube, into y distance 1 over y distance 2.
Okay.
So this is a voyage consumption formula, this one. This is fuel coefficient formula and this is voyage consumption formula. Now, voyage consumption formula and fuel coefficient formula are actually same, except that it gives us direct application. So I will show you how they are same, and that is why a particular numerical can be done in two ways. So it is up to you how you do it, but I will give you both the methods. What is a voyage consumption? Let us say VC1. When I say I am making a voyage, and then this voyage consumption, how much fuel you are consuming in a voyage will depend upon voyage days. Suppose it is a 10 days voyage and I am using 30 tons per day, so my voyage consumption will be 10 into 30, 300 tons. So voyage consumption is voyage days multiplied by DC1, daily consumption. Voyage consumption, voyage days is nothing but the voyage distance. So voyage distance 1 divided by V1 divided by 24. This is the voyage days. The distance divided by V1, you get the hours, divided by 24, you get the days. So this is voyage days multiplied by DC1. This is the voyage consumption. So I give it relationship number 1. Similarly, if I have another voyage which I am doing with V2 speed and I have voyage distance 2, I can say voyage consumption 2 is equal to voyage distance 2 divided by V2, because I am doing it at the speed of V2, divided by 24, close the bracket, multiplied by DC2. DC2 is a daily consumption when the vessel is proceeding at V2 speed. This is 2. So is it okay up to here? You are following what I have written? So if I divide equation 1 by equation 2, I can write as VC1 over VC2 is equal to, this is VC1, this is VC2. So y distance 1 and y distance 2, I can write together y distance 1 divided by y distance 2. And this will come in numerator, this will come in denominator. So I will have V2 into 24, and in the denominator I will have V1 into 24 multiplied by DC1 by DC2, DC1 by DC2. This is what we get by dividing equation number 1 by equation number 2. 24 cancels out. Correct? So what I have is voyage distance 1 over voyage distance 2 into V2 by V1 into DC1 by DC2. DC1 by DC2 from this equation I can write. So let me write here. Okay. So VC1 over VC2 is equal to, this part I am just not writing at the moment. I am only writing this part into DC1 by DC2. DC1 by DC2 from here I can write as delta 1 by delta 2, 2 by 3 into V1 by V2 cube. This is DC1 by DC2. DC1 by DC, sorry, I have written DC1 by DC2. From this equation is delta 1 by delta 2 raised to power 2 by 3 into V1 by V2 cube. So if I put this dC1 by dC2 here in this formula, what it will become? Vc1 by Vc2 will be equal to, now this V2 by V1 will, 1 cube will become square. So we will have left with delta 1 by delta 2, 2 by 3 into, so this will cancel and we will have V1 by V2 square multiplied by voyage distance 1 over voyage distance 2. This is what I will get finally as the relationship for voyage consumption. So this becomes easy for me to use, and instead of cube we have square. So this is a relationship which we can derive also ourselves, as I have done it. Only thing is I have to make use of fuel coefficient formula dC1 by dC2. So this becomes my voyage consumption formula, this one. If I know in one voyage I consume 300 tons of fuel, my displacement was delta 1, I proceeded at V1 speed, voyage distance was so much. In the next voyage, if my consumption is 500 tons, I can straightway write 500 here, displacement, and what is the voyage distance? I can calculate the speed. So whichever is the missing one can be written directly. So that is how voyage consumption formula is derived. So at any stage, anybody is not understanding, please ask me. There is no problem. I will explain it again and again. If I have to explain 100 times also, I will do that.
सर एक बार शुरू का पार्ट थोड़ा सा मुझे रिकैप करके बता दीजिए सर. पीसी हैंग हो गया था तो रिस्टार्ट अभी ज्वाइन किया मैंने वापस.
शुरू में किस चीज का शुरू? क्लास के शुरू से या
क्लास का शुरू सर?
अच्छा, so we are here as if we have just started. What we have done so far is just first of all written down what we have already discussed in the previous class. So we have so far two formulas we have given. One is admiralty coefficient is equal to delta 1 or delta only, let us say 2 by 3 into V cube over P. This is the formula, and using this formula we can write as delta 1 2 by 3 into V1 cube divided by P1 is one set of condition. Since admiralty is a constant, so this will be equal to delta 2 2 by 3 into V2 cube divided by P2. This is the relationship as per admiralty coefficient, and then we have derived the relationship for fuel coefficient. Fuel coefficient was based on the assumption that SFOC is constant. Formula is similar except that in place of power we have replaced it by daily consumption. So delta raised to power 2 by 3 into V cube divided by daily consumption. This is the fuel coefficient formula, and from this we can write delta 1 2 by 3 into V1 cube divided by DC1. DC1 is daily consumption 1 under first set of condition is equal to delta 2 2 by 3 into V2 cube divided by DC2. So this is the next relationship which we developed. Then finally voyage consumption. Voyage consumption Vc1 over Vc2 is equal to delta 1 by delta 2 raised to power 2 by 3 into V1 by V2 square multiplied by voyage distance 1 VD1 in short divided by voyage distance 2. This is a voyage consumption formula. So we have 1, 2, this is 3. These are the three relationships so far. This one of course I gave today. These two we had done it earlier and we did some numerical on the first one. All right, so is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, now we'll move forward and we will solve some numerical based on either this voyage consumption relationship or based on the fuel consumption relationship, fuel coefficient, sorry, FC is fuel coefficient. So let me open the PPT and then we will solve some. Keep your calculator handy if it is not already there. So just collect it wherever it is. By the time I open the PPT, you should be ready with your, the only ARI students.
Yes, sir. From Panchkula.
We have Panchkula students also.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But Panchkula, the syllabus is going in a different way, na? I mean, Panchkula student means Panchkula batch, not because they,
No, not from batch, sir. Actually, the Captain Baba said we are conducting combined only with Saket and Panchkula.
but this numericals I think is already done in Panchkula.
No,
No?
no, no. The one I joined is in this class only. But Captain Baba said they are doing combined this one from the Saket and Panchkula. They are not conducting a separate batch.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So you have not, the Panchkula students have not done numerical so far, or they have done partly? No.
सर एआरआई का ही बैच है वो बाबा सर ने इनको बोला कि कंबाइंड चल रहा है आजकल तो इनको एआरआई में डाल दिया सितंबर वालों को जैसे अगस्त वालों को एआरआई साकेत ने पंचकुला में डाल दिया तो उनकी फैकल्टी अलग चल रही है तो ये लोग अभी सितंबर बैच के एआरआई साकेत वाले हैं
तो वहाँ भी चल रहा है अलग बैच?
हाँ जी सर अगस्त का बैच उनको दिया है ना
अच्छा, ओके ओके, ऐसा चल रहा है, चलो ठीक है। ओके, तो अभी तो लेट अस डू द न्यूमेरिकल। अभी ये इस बैच वाले इधर ही रहना क्योंकि फिर आधे इधर करोगे उधर जाओगे तो गड़बड़ है। चलो ठीक है, लेट मी, आई एम ओपनिंग द पीपीटी एंड कीप। All right, so this is the first one we will solve. A vessel of 10,000 tons displacement burns 20 tons of fuel per day at 40 knots. Estimate the fuel consumption at a displacement of 8,000 tons for a 4,000 mile voyage at 16 knots. So use the formula which we have discussed already and calculate the fuel consumption for a particular voyage with 8,000 displacement. First data is given at 10,000 displacement, 20 tons per day fuel consumption. So everything is given, you have to just use the formula and calculate. So let all of you do this and then we will compare the answers and see if there is any difficulty. Also we will just tell me and we will discuss that.
सर 25.7 डेली कंजम्पशन है.
25.7. Okay. And निकालना कहाँ में है वाइज कंजम्पशन.
टोटल was 360.2.
360.2. Okay, let me check. Daily is okay. White consumptions is 267, not 3.
7.7, yes sir.
तो तुम्हारे 360 कैसे आ गए? 360 wrong है. 267 या 268 is okay.
267.7 आ रहा है.
That is okay. So this can be done in two ways. One is using white consumption direct formula. Second one, first calculate as you have done by calculating the daily consumption under the different speed, which is 16. 14 पे हमें पता है 20 है, तो हमने 16 पे calculate कर लिया DC1 by DC2 formula लगा के. So DC2 is DC1 into delta 2 by delta 1 raised to power 2 by 3 into V2 by V1 cube. Once we have the DC2, we have 4000 miles. So 4000 miles divided by 16 knots divided by 24 is the voyage days. Multiply by the daily consumption gives me the voyage consumption. So that is the method. Anyone in the class who has not been able to solve it or has any doubt, please ask. सबने कर लिया है या कर रहे हैं? सो अकॉर्डिंगली आई विल वेट ना. ऐसा थोड़ा मुझे आइडिया आप देते रहा करो कि भाई सब आ गया है या अभी कर रहे हो. एक दो ने तो कर लिया है, आई नो, बट व्हाट अबाउट द फुल क्लास? Everybody in the jury should be able to solve it.
Sir, can you please repeat the answer?
Okay. So answer is daily consumption as per calculation is 25.7. Okay. And 267 is the 267.9 is the voice consumption. 10.4 days voice days. 25.7 is actually answer is one only. Now voice consumption has been asked. So you must get 267 or 260, 267.9 or 268 as your consumption. So this can be done in two ways. One is using voice consumption formula. Voice consumption formula you can use. Also you will get the same answer. Let us see how can you use. Now daily consumption you have already used. If I use voice consumption formula, I can also, what is the voice consumption formula? Vc1 by Vc2 is equal to delta 1 by delta 2, 2 by 3. Then I'll be dealing with not Q, only squares. V1 by V2 square into voice distance 1 over voice distance 2. Now voice consumption 1. Let us consider a voice of 1 day. Let us consider a voyage of 1 day at 14 knots. अब मैं एक दिन की वॉयज कंसिडर कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि उसका डाटा सब मेरे को पता है. तो वॉयज VC1 क्या हो जाएगा, क्योंकि एक ही दिन की वॉयज है, 20 tons will be the voyage consumption under first set of condition. What will be speed? 14 knots. What will be displacement? Delta 1, 10,000 tons. What will be voyage distance? Voyage distance 1 will be 14 into 24. करेक्ट. एक दिन में तो 14 नॉट से इतने ही जाएगा ना नॉटिकल माइल्स. सो आई हैव VC1, I have delta 1, I have V1 14 knots, and also I have voyage distance 14 into 24. VC2 is what I want to calculate. Delta 2 is known to me, V2 is known to me, voyage distance 2 is 4000 miles, everything is known, only VC2. So I can get VC2 also using this voyage consumption formula. Other method which you have used just now, you have used DC1 DC2 formula. That means you have first calculated the daily consumption under the second set of conditions, and then voyage days you have calculated and multiplied that by daily consumption, and you got the voyage consumption. Both are correct. Whichever you find easier you can do.
सर वॉइस डिस्टेंस 1 आपने 14 into 24 किया.
ऑब्वियसली अगर मैंने पहली कंडीशन में एक दिन की वॉयज ली,
हाँ जी,
तो एक घंटे में 24 चलता है, तो 24 घंटे में 24 into 14 चलेगा ना. सो दैट इज वॉयज डिस्टेंस 1 फॉर फर्स्ट वॉयज.
ठीक है सर.
और वॉयज कंजम्पशन एक दिन की ही, एक ही दिन की वॉयज है, 20 टन्स पर डे है इसकी कंजम्पशन, तो 20 टन्स हो जाएगी वॉयज कंजम्पशन. तो VC1 की जगह 20 डाल दूंगा मैं, 20 टन्स. डेल्टा 1 डेल्टा 2 तो है ही है, V1 V2 भी पता है मुझे. वॉयज डिस्टेंस 1 हो जाएगा 14 into 24, वॉयज डिस्टेंस 2 4000, and I will get the same answer. Voyage consumption 2 will be exactly same what you got by the other method. But again you have to see whichever you find easier. इसमें क्या है, आपको you can write straight away VC2 जो निकालना है, which is equal to VC1. VC1 आपको पता है 20 टन, multiplied by delta 2 by delta 1, है ना. ये दोनों चीज़ें पता है, raised to power 2 by 3 निकाल के इसको डाल देंगे. उसके बाद V2 by V1 का स्क्वायर इंटू वॉयज डिस्टेंस 2 ओवर वॉयज डिस्टेंस 1. तो इसमें आई एम डीलिंग फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल स्क्वायर ऑफ V1 V2 by V1, so it will be V2 by V1 and This is delta 2 by delta 1, y distance 2 by y distance 1. So I can straight away calculate VC2, and again it depends upon whichever you find better. इसमें कोई ऐसा वो नहीं है कि ये अच्छा है वो खराब है, दोनों से एक ही आंसर मिलेगा. A vessel uses 300 tons of fuel on a voyage of 3000 nautical miles traveling at a speed of 12 knots. ये तो आप कर ही लोगे. When her displacement is 10,000 tons, estimate the fuel required for a voyage of 1500 nautical miles at a speed of 15 knots and displacement of 14,000 ton. तो voyage के लिए कितना फ्यूल चाहिए हमें ये निकालना. This will be easier because सारे voyage consumption formula से ज़्यादा जल्दी निकल आएगा क्योंकि voyage distances पता हैं, voyage distance 1, voyage distance 2 और consumption voyage consumption ही हमें निकालनी है. So let us see and try it with voyage consumption only, because I want you to use that voyage consumption formula also.
Sir, 293.31 tons.
293, I think correct. Let me just see.
It may be, so
293.
293.3.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सही है जवाब. गुड, वेरी गुड.
सर पेज 33 वाला अटेम्प्ट करना है क्या?
नहीं नहीं, मैं जरा चेक कर रहा हूँ कौन सा नेक्स्ट कराना है। अभी ये सबका आ गया क्या? पहले तो ये देखना जरूरी है। आपका तो आ गया।
293.335।
सबका आ गया या दो तीन जनों का? क्योंकि क्लास तो हमारी बड़ी है ना। लेट मी आस्क कपल ऑफ यू। तभी ऐसे कोई बताता नहीं है अपनी तरफ से। लेट मी सी। आकाश पाठक। आकाश पाठक क्लास में ही नहीं है शायद। आकाश सिंह, वो भी नहीं है, दो एब्सेंट हो गए अभी। अखिल मनास, 3।
सर आ गया
अक्षय,
सर। अखिल
हैं?
सर आ गया सर 293.3 सर।
अच्छा, अखिल का आ गया। ठीक है, मैं लिख लूँ कौन कौन का आ रहा है। ये तो बात सही नहीं है, सबका आना चाहिए ना, क्योंकि अभी हमने बहुत करना है न्यूमेरिकल। तो अगर ऐसे ही रिस्पांस रहा तो कैसे करेंगे हम? बाकी क्या जो नहीं कर रहे वो कैसे करेंगे बाद में? अखिल ने कर लिया, चलो और देखता हूँ। अक्षय, अक्षय अवस्थी।
यस
अक्षय
सर,
दुबे।
अच्छी अवस्थी।
अक्षय अवस्थी, क्या पोजीशन है तुम्हारी?
पोजीशन अच्छी है सर।
मतलब ये नहीं कि कुर्सी पे या बेड पे क्या पोजीशन अच्छी है, न्यूमेरिकल का क्या हुआ?
अच्छा वो हाँ कर रहा हूँ सर।
और कौन सी अच्छी पोजीशन, कौन सी पोजीशन बता रहे हो?
नहीं आप पूछ रहे थे ऐसे रैंडम, मुझे लगा।
रैंडम तो मैं देख रहा हूँ ना कि क्लास तो है इतनी बड़ी। देखो कितने हैं, 30 नहीं 27 है आज प्रेजेंट इन लॉग इन जो है। और दो तीन से ज्यादा का रिस्पांस नहीं मिल रहा मेरे को। दो तीन बता रहे बस कि हाँ मैंने कर लिया कर लिया, बाकी ये भी नहीं कह रहे कि मैंने नहीं किया। अमनदीप, अमनदीप है ही नहीं, मैं क्या करूं? अमनप्रीत,
Yes, sir.
अमनप्रीत सिंह।
293 point. Yes, sir.
तो
293.3.
अमनप्रीत का आ गया, चलो गुड। अशोक कुमार मीना।
सर बोल दिया मैंने 293.335।
अच्छा, अशोक कुमार का हो गया। बलविंदर सिंह, ब्रह्म ऋषि शर्मा,
हो गया सर 293.312.
चिराग त्यागी, चिराग त्यागी कहाँ हो? गगनदीप सिंह,
सर पहले बता दिया था मैंने आंसर।
गौरव सिंह,
यस सर, कर रहे हैं सर.
गौरव कर रहा है। लवी गिल,
यस सर, 293.3 आ गया सर.
नवीन पोखरियाल। बहुत सारे तो रिस्पॉन्स ही नहीं है, लॉग इन करके कहाँ है मुझे नहीं पता। नवीन पोखरियाल कहाँ है? परमवीर सिंह,
Yes, sir. Done, done, done.
डन, ओके। पवनजीत,
डन सर।
ओके। रोहित मिश्रा,
सर आ गया 293.3 अक्षय।
वेरी गुड। रोशन शर्मा, रोशन शर्मा का आया कि नहीं आया? रोशन शर्मा ही पता नहीं है कि नहीं। सागर साहू,
यस सर, हो गया सर, डन।
हो गया। सागर श्रीवास्तव, नहीं है। संदीप झा, संदीप कुमार, सुगम गुप्ता,
यस सर, हो गया।
हो गया। सजिंदर सिंह, विशाल, आई थिंक सिर्फ 50% स्टूडेंट्स हैं इस वक्त यहाँ, 50 से भी कम है। ओके, चलो फिर नेक्स्ट वाला कर लेते हैं। ये वाला तो हो गया, हमने कर लिया है ये वाला 31। तो 30 का तो आ गया आंसर, 31 का देखते हैं। 31 is also similar, so we should not take much time. A vessel with the, ये क्योंकि जब आपको ये ऐसा हो जाना चाहिए कि एग्जाम में ना आप जैसे क्वेश्चन पढ़े ये वाला पार्ट तो फटाफट हो जाए, क्योंकि और भी इसमें हो सकता है और भी कुछ पूछा हो तो उसमें थोड़ा सोचना पड़ सकता है, लेकिन जो हमें स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड वाले क्वेश्चंस हैं इसमें टाइम नहीं लगना चाहिए, इतनी प्रैक्टिस हो जानी चाहिए। Vessel with a displacement of 12,250 tons burns 290 tons of fuel when traveling at a speed of 50 knots on a voyage of 2850. On a voyage of 1800 nautical miles at a speed of 13 knots and displacement 14,200, estimate the quantity of fuel that will be burnt. Straightforward VC1 VC2 formula फटाफट कर दीजिए क्योंकि टाइम भी होने वाला है। तो let us at least complete this numerical. From next lecture we will go one step higher, है ना। वन स्टेप हायर का मतलब होता है कि सिंपल से थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट। तो उसमें क्या होगा कि क्वेश्चन यू विल हैव टू स्लाइटली थिंक। अभी तो आप डायरेक्ट फार्मूला लगाते जा रहे हो, उसमें क्या होगा थोड़ा सा एक बार सोचना पड़ेगा, फिर आप फटाफट कर लोगे। सो दैट इज हाउ वी विल आई एम सेइंग दैट इज ए नेक्स्ट लेवल, स्टेप 2। इसीलिए हमें स्टेप 1 पे कॉन्फिडेंस होना चाहिए कि ये तो हम कर ही लेंगे आंख बंद करके।
वन 152 सर।
151.1
151.8
अगर आ गया है तो बढ़िया है। Between 151 and 152।
Yes, sir. 151.8, sir.
ठीक है, वेरी गुड। चलो कर लिया तो दूसरा भी कर ही लो, लास्ट है इस टाइप का। A vessel of 10,000 ton displacement burns 25 tons of fuel per day when her speed is 12 knots. Calculate the probable consumption of fuel over a voyage of 3,000 nautical miles at a speed of 11 knots when the displacement is 11,000 tons. अब ये देख लो आपने कौन से मेथड से करना है, DC1 DC2 से या वॉइस कंजम्पशन दोनों से कर सकते हो। Select anyone and see the result.
पिछले वाले का आंसर बोलना एक बार।
151 point something।
ओके सर, ठीक है।
इसमें डेली कंजम्पशन दिया है इसलिए हम इसको दोनों तरीके से कर सकते हैं। पहले जैसा DC2 निकाल लें या वॉइस कंजम्पशन का। इस बार वॉइस कंजम्पशन से करो, पिछली बार तो आपने निकाला ही था ना, DC1 DC2 निकाला था। लेट अस सी कि वॉइस कंजम्पशन से भी ठीक आता है कि नहीं। वन डे की वॉइस ले लो, फर्स्ट कंडीशन में कंसिडर वन डे वॉइस, तो उसमें वॉइस डिस्टेंस और वो सब उसके हिसाब से निकाल लो। फिर सेकंड सेट करो, डायरेक्टली दिया हुआ ही है 3000 नॉटिकल माइल्स की वॉइस है, 11 नॉट स्पीड है, डिस्प्लेसमेंट इज 11,000। उस तरह से कर।
So 233.2.
Yes, sir. 233.177. Yes.
233.17. Yeah, one is okay. Very good. Good, excellent. So you did with the daily consumption formula or voyage consumption?
Void consumption.
हाँ ठीक है, फिर तो फर्स्ट क्लास। तो दोनों से सेम ही आएगा। ये डायरेक्टली है, ये वाला डायरेक्ट वाइज कंजम्पशन से है। वाइज कंजम्पशन 1, वाइज कंजम्पशन 2, वाइज डिस्टेंस 1, वाइज डिस्टेंस 2, है ना। और अगर डेली कंजम्पशन से करें तो भी इसमें है द फ्यूल कंजम्पशन इज 25 टन्स पर डे एट 12 नॉट्स। कंसिडर द वॉयज ऑफ 1 डे। तो वॉयज डिस्टेंस हो गया 288 और हमने एक 3000 है, एक 288 है, 11, 12 एंड दिस 233.1 के करीब आ गया। ठीक है, वेरी गुड। तो अब हम जो हैं हमने वी आर रेडी फॉर some more questions, but not today, and so we will do it in the next session whenever it is. Hopefully you have a do you have class